weird. Hello? Oh, I got it working. Hi, I just want to thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts for coming. And we're just going to start, I think. Thank you so much. My mom was so special to us and each and every one of you, and you were so special to her, which is, you know, such a testament. You are a testament to my mom. So thank you. Oh, and I'm going to vamp because our first act is not here yet. Beautiful day. Sun is shining. Got my hair blown out. So thank you so much. This is Joe McFadden. Are you ready, babe?
Yes.
Okay. And he is going to perform for us, my way. Thank you. You ready?
Thank you. Before I begin, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Joe McFadden. Judith Dauler Schattenfield, also known as Bubby, was my grandmother and my sidekick.
Yes, she was.
Her great music loves were Paul McCartney and Frank Sinatra. This song is dedicated to her wonderful life with us. Hang on a minute. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a woman? What has she got? If not herself, then she has not to say the things she truly feels, and not herself of one who kneels. The record shows she took the blows and did it her way.
Outstanding, Joe. Outstanding. That was amazing. Outstanding. My man Joe. Joe will be performing at Caesar's Palace, Vegas next week. I think the 21st through the 25th. Is that right? Outstanding. Outstanding. As Kristen was saying, thank you everyone for being here. It means so much to us and our family, celebrating the life of our matriarch, Mom, Judy, Bubby, got some aliases going on in there, and we're really thankful for everyone being here. And everybody has so many stories to tell and experiences, which is neat, so I'm going to make it short and sweet so we all can get in our love experiences that we spent time with Judy. And it was funny, I spent my first 10 years, it was just Judy and I, right? And she was a loving mother. I had nothing but great times and good travel and fun, late night poker games. Her and her best friend, Roxanne, who I called Aunt Fra, would take me to Miami and Fort Lauderdale on spring breaks and winter breaks all the time, and it was just a fun, loving time, and couldn't ask for anything better. We had a good support system. We lived in, my first 5 years, we lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and lived near her parents, my grandparents, Dee and Gamu, and then we lived in a nice apartment building, one-bedroom apartment, that my great aunt and uncle were residential managers, and we had a good support system. But my mom, Bubby, always took the living room. She gave me the bedroom, and she would sleep on the pull-out sofa, and she just really took good care of me. And then we spent 5 years in Cleveland, then we moved to Greensburg, Pennsylvania for another 5 years, and we lived in another one-bedroom apartment, and she gave me the bedroom, and she slept out in the living room on the pull-out sofa, and always taking care of me, and it was fun. And as I said, late night poker games. She surrounded herself with a good support system of good people that were just friendly, good people, and it was fun. So of course, moving on, she made a transition, and she was fortunate to meet Tom Schattenfield, our father, and her husband-to-be, and they got married, and she went from having one child at the kitchen counter to eventually having 7 children at the kitchen counter, and that's a tough little challenge. And she went from making me, as an only child, cream tuna on toast, delicious, because tuna's her main thing. She could make a mean French toast and just other things. But when she saw now we've got 7 children to feed, you know, she had to modify her menu, and it was neat seeing that. And then Papu, you know, Tom, our father, was kind of wore the chef's hat, but she learned from him, and she did well. Now we did enjoy the breakfast for dinners, you know, that we always had. I mean, what's not to like? You know, scrambled eggs and bacon for dinner. Come on, it's beautiful. But then she started making her famous Coca-Cola flank steak and different things, and we always got to pick our own cake for our birthdays, which was pretty neat. And she would bake them. She would bake them and make it, and she was just a loving mother. She really was. And you know, and then the one thing about her, she loved to take pictures. How about that one? Oh yeah, believe me. And we were always kids like, oh man, come on, stop with that. But we've got 1 million photo albums of all of us, and we, you know, we'll cherish that forever. And that was one of her little attributes, that she always documented everything, and we're very appreciative of that. Of course, she was a world traveler, and she did take a lot of pictures, so it was pretty neat. So coming back, one of the famous pictures of her riding the camel, I mean, that is just, you know, you can't beat that, right? And Cousin Ann?
Cousin Ann?
Mm-hmm. And she loved traveling with Cousin Ann, and you guys had a great time, always. My mom was a survivor, you know, and she survived a lot. She went through quite a bit, and she kept her chin up till the very end. She really did. And what I did was, after all of her experiences with the medical field there, and poking and prodding her all the time, I nicknamed her the Tough Cookie. Okay, so you got to add that on after Bubby, Tough Cookie. And you know, she really was. So she still is tough, and she's looking down on us, hanging out with Papu right now, and knowing that she's got a big smile on her face for all of us, and we have one for her. I'm going to end this with, I took this from a card that was sent to our family. It says, "Within our hearts, the ones we love are never really gone. In spirit and in memory, their legacy lives on." Love you, Tough Cookie. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Scarlett. Hi, I'm Scarlett, as most of you already know. I wrote a poem for my beloved grandmother. Bubby, your soft smile, your kind eyes, they crinkle as you give the warm smile I know and love. I don't see you often, but you are always there, and when I need to talk to you, you make me laugh. You are the one I talk to when I feel down, when I feel mad, and I feel sad. I trust you with all my heart. I love you, and I know you do too. You are the person I will never forget. I hold your hand, and we sit talking and laughing until the day is done. Thank you.
You got this, Tom.
Well now, here we are.
Oh,
little breathing exercise. Where's that? Thank you. I am Tom Schattenfield, not junior, but the son, clearly. I have been struggling to find the words that properly convey Judy's compassion, her kindness of spirit, how much she meant to me, how much I loved and admired her, and how much I relied upon her. And I fear I can't, as I haven't been able to make it past a few sentences without breaking down. I'm going to give it my best effort, but smart money's on my devolving into a quivering mess.
You got this.
Oh yeah. It sounded funny when I wrote it. Above all, Judy was a fighter. She did not survive 3 occurrences of cancer. She beat cancer into submission. She was a daughter of a Marine who fought in the Pacific during World War II, and she was a mother of a paratrooper. Judy was made of steel, and she backed down from nothing. Judy came into our life in 1971. At the age of 32, she went from being a single mother of 1 to being a mother of 6 troubled children between the ages of 6 and 12, which soon grew to 7. I was 10 at the time. Can you imagine? As troubled children will do, we sought to torment her, as only children can. We weren't particularly respectful, and we sought ways to create stress. Famously terrified of insects, it was not uncommon for Judy to jump from the front seat of a car to the back seat if she saw a creepy crawly insect on the windshield, no matter how small. And to Judy, every insect was a creepy crawling insect. None so more than spiders. And once I became aware of that phobia, naturally I went to Spencer's Gifts at Montgomery Mall and bought an excessively large plastic spider, which I brought home and stuck to the wall next to the kitchen phone. I sat down and waited for the phone to ring, which in retrospect proved to be an error in judgment. I thought it a harmless prank. I thought it a harmless joke. Judy thought otherwise. My dad thought otherwise. Suffice to say, it didn't happen a second time. But I did hide the others I bought in random drawers. I was an evil kid. Yeah, my siblings had their own way of tormenting her. Judy could have cut and run at any time, and I believe most would have. I believe most would have hit the door running, but Judy didn't. Judy persevered. She fought to make us a family. At first, she fought with us. Then she fought for us. And then she never stopped fighting for us. And despite my cruelty with plastic spiders, Judy and I early on forged a special relationship that lasted throughout our life. Judy was my biggest supporter and my biggest champion, and I, in turn, was hers. She was always there when I needed her. Judy carried me through many a dark moment in my life. I could call at all hours, and Judy would always answer, excepting 7:30, 8 o'clock on Mondays through Fridays. And we all know that's jeopardy. But that's one of the things that made special was that she was, like that with everybody. Her heart was boundless, her shoulders strong, and her phone line was always open. Except, of course, the pre-mentioned 7:30, 8 o'clock Monday through Friday, not including holidays. When in her presence, Judy would draw you in. She would smile and her eyes would light up. She had that ability in a room full of people to make you feel like it was just the two of you, and that she was truly interested in you. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we were to hear some of these stories later on when the guests are invited to share their memories. But the thing is, Judy wanted to get to know you. She wanted to know what you were thinking. She wanted to know what you had to say. And she was the world's greatest listener. If you choose to prattle on and on about Game of Thrones redacted for vampires, Judy would make you feel like she was hanging on every word. And that underscores what made her truly special. She cared about you. She cared about everybody. She forged connections any way she could think of, and she fed her connections with kindness and compassion, and invariably those connections flourished. A friend of mine who Judy knew, shared with me her favorite memory. Her 20-year-old cat had recently died, and she had been struggling for weeks with grief. I mentioned this in passing to Judy and thought nothing more of it. 1 week later, my friend received a package from Judy. Inside was a figurine of an angel cradling a cat. It was a simple gesture of kindness and compassion, and it was precisely what my friend needed to transition from grief to a sense of comfort. Judy fully understood the experience of grief, and she wanted to help. Judy gave a damn. She really did. And she cared. And her small gesture of kindness made a world of difference. And that was Judy. She was always trying to lift others up. Okay, that was especially true of her final days. Judy did not want maudlin displays of emotion. She wanted to laugh, and she wanted to laugh with you. As family came together to say goodbye, Judy pranked them. Judy, laying in her bed, would ask them to move closer. And she said, "I left some money for you. It's in a box." And I put it, and then she feigned dying. A dying woman, feigning dying, to make others laugh. She laughed constantly. Judy laughed constantly. And at one point she said, "I know I should pass along words of wisdom, but all I can think of is who knew dying could be so much fun." Okay, our last days with Judy were filled with love and generosity of spirit. We were together, and we were in it together. And Judy did pass along words of wisdom. Hold your family close. Seek out, find, and follow joy. And keep your heart filled with laughter. That's it. That's my favorite picture.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, babies, what a treat you've been running for.
Sorry about this. We just weren't ready yet. Oh, yeah, that's right. Our mistake.
No.
All right. Ready?
You too.
She actually has.
Do you want to hold it or do you want to put it here?
Oh, sorry.
You ready? Do the intro. So as Jeff said, our other favorite artist was Paul McCartney, so we're going to give this a shot right now.
Why leave me standing here? Let me know the way. Many times I've been alone, and many times I've cried. Anyway, you'll never know the many ways I've tried, and still they lead me back to the long, winding road. You left me standing here a long, long time ago. Don't leave me waiting here. Lead me to your door, but still they lead me back to the long, winding road. You left me standing here a long, long time ago. Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to your door. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's going to be hard to follow. Okay, so I'm Kelly Bechtel Gonzalez. I'm Aunt Judy's niece. So some of you may know that 1 year ago, the best book group ever, that's not my opinion, that's the actual name, was founded with Aunt Judy being the senior and best member ever. She was the heart of our group. One of our monthly routines we had was to end the meeting with a picture rating the book we read with either a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a so-so thumb. And a thumbs up story included adventure, mystery, just the right amount of drama. It challenged our thinking, made us learn and grow. It caused us to question, discuss, and connect with each other. It made us laugh, it made us cry. Most importantly, it made an impact that stayed in our heart long after that last page. I had the privilege of being a part of Aunt Judy's life story from my earliest memories. As a child, I can still remember the excitement whenever we were getting ready to go to Aunt Judy's house, knowing that when we got there, we would be welcomed with a big hug and a genuine "how are you doing?" This would be followed by hours of crazy, fun chaos, which included animated conversations, lots of kids, Pubby, Murnax, and if it was Christmas Eve, Santa Tom, and if it was the 4th of July, a very small burning building. There was comfy seating in every room, cups with all the kids' names permanently written on them. And it was there that I was introduced to the best tuna noodle salad I've ever had. At every gathering, there was always lots of laughter. I learned early on that Aunt Judy was warm and welcoming, and she made me feel happy. Spring break trips from those early years were crazy, fun chaos on the road. There was one year that she and my mom took a bunch of us kids to the Bahamas.
On the plane, we were spread out over a couple of rows since there were quite a few of us. And after the dinner trays were handed out, Aunt Judy announced loudly so we could all hear, "Hand back your dinner trays if you aren't eating them so that we can have something to snack on later at the hotel." So we started handing them back, and after a few minutes, I heard my mom laughing. I turned around to see what was going on. And Aunt Judy was frantically trying to manage all of the dinner trays that were flooding back into her row. I still remember her stunned look when she said, "How many kids did we bring?" Apparently, the entire plane had heard her calls for uneaten dinner trays and dutifully handed them back. And that was the day I learned that Aunt Judy had great power, enough to control an entire plane.
Wow.
Over the years, I learned a lot more about Aunt Judy. She was a great friend, one of my mom's best. She loved craft shows. She was the #1 person to go to whenever there was a crisis that needed handling. She would pull out her rubber-banded calendar notebook, flip through, and somehow solutions were found and problems solved. She was so amazingly strong, beating cancer over and over again. And the day she invited me to a Buddhist monk blessing at her house was the day that I learned she was totally awesome. So this last year was a gift as I got to reconnect with Aunt Judy as an adult me. And through our conversations, I learned a lot. I learned that Aunt Judy was passionate about her children and her grandchildren. She had stories to share about them, every one of them, each and every month. She loved learning and was always ready with multiple newspaper and magazine clippings of book lists to review and choose for our next discussion. She loved World War II novels and British mysteries. She was confident in her opinions and honest with her feelings. She was a defender of animals and the environment. She desperately wanted a world where all people were treated with respect and dignity. She knew how to make you feel like you mattered whenever you talked with her. She found joy in the things she liked to do and was able to just have fun. She was always so excited for our meetings, and it was infectious. She loved her deck even on the coldest days and had plenty of blankets for those of us who are not so sure. I think most significantly, however, I learned that Aunt Judy was one of the bravest people I know. She took on her hospice care diagnosis with an open heart and a strong will. She was not afraid to talk about it, plan for it, and she did it all with a positive mind and a loving heart. It did not keep her from laughing or learning or living. So, as we come here together today to celebrate the end of your life story, Aunt Judy, the best book group ever has given our final rating, and it is a double thumbs up. Your story has been a beautiful adventure filled with so many amazing memories. You have shown us how to love, and you have taught us how to live. You have challenged our thinking and made us grow. You have helped us to question and connect. You have made us laugh, and you have made us cry. You are the heroine that we have fallen in love with, and we were not ready for it to be done. The impact of your life story has been monumental and will live in our hearts way beyond the end of its pages. Hi.
We just invite, if you want to tell us your memory, or if the spirit moves, a memory of, of my mom. So anyone is welcome. Anyone and everyone is welcome to come up. So. Yeah, come on.
It is with great sadness that I had to say goodbye to Bub. She was a loving, caring, and dedicated grandmother, and she was such a powerful presence in my life. She attended all of my recitals, concerts, art shows, improv demonstrations, all events that I was part of. She was always there supporting me. She was also there when I graduated high school during COVID, doing the parking lot drive-thru in my school parking lot with special signs and honking her horn. I think you get the idea. She was always cheering me on, always. She and I were such a team, like Batman and Robin. She was the hero when I was the hero, and she was my sidekick. And she took her role very seriously. We came up with great stories to save the world, and she always helped me make the stories that much better. And we always laughed out loud with all the crazy jokes we came up with. She always chose to be positive and helpful, no matter the situation. She has been a great example for me, and I will try to follow in her loving and positive footsteps. Thanks, Bub. You're the best.
Yes, I was known as Cousin Ann. Judy and I were cousins. Our mothers were first cousins and best friends, and we were expected to be the same. But on a slightly different note from what you've been hearing. Judy and I hated each other. When we were about 6 years old, we got into the only physical fight that I know of that she or I ever engaged in. We hit, we scratched, we tried to bite. We were trying to really mortally injure each other. Our mothers overheard this ruckus and came and separated us and scolded us and punished us, and it didn't help. But somehow we had to keep going because, as I said, our mothers were best friends. And so once in a while I'd have to go visit Judy in Irwin, and sometimes it involved going to school with her. And there were boys in the classroom, and I was astounded because I went to a girls' school, and what were they doing here? But it was interesting. So we got through school, we went our separate ways. She had a little boy, Mike. I had a little boy, Drew. They were the cutest two little kids, and somehow we would end up together up at Lake Erie. My family had a cottage, and she'd bring little Mike, and I'd take my son, and they got along beautifully. And they shared toys and things, and we started to look at each other a little differently. Well, she proceeded to end up as a mother of 7. I had as a mother of 4. We ended up being best friends. I miss her so much because, well, we ended up being best friends, and we had this bizarre history. And she or I would call each other 2 or 3 times a week, and that doesn't happen anymore. And Judy, I keep waiting for that phone to ring, and I will keep waiting for it to ring. But meanwhile, you guys are the tribute
that validates the fact that we changed from mortal enemies to best friends. Thank you for all you were in her life.
Hi, I'm Kim Oser. Judy was a client of mine since just before Tom passed away, but Judy was Aunt Judy to me and a friend to me since the Bechtels introduced me to her as soon as they moved into the house in Potomac. Everything everybody has said about Judy is true. I don't know about the biting and stuff part, but that was before my time. But everything else I've been witness to and seeing the kindness and the compassion and the caring that she had for all of her children and all of her friends, and talking about, and when we would be working together, the phone would ring and it would be Cousin Ann, or it would be John, or, you know, it was Kristen every day, and Scarlett would call. It was just, everybody was just always part of her life. So because Judy and I worked together almost weekly since right before Tom passed away, especially during the pandemic, Judy was one of the people I saw most, because I didn't see people, and we would meet on Zoom before we felt safe to come into contact with each other. And so obviously I got to witness everything, the humor, everything that you guys all saw. I never knew Judy to be a religious person. I learned she was a spiritual person by the poems and the mantras posted throughout the house, although I wasn't invited to the Buddhist monk thing, and I'm kind of a little bit bitter about that. But there's a Mohawk prayer that's in the dining room that talks about thanking Mother Earth and thanking the sun and the birds and the stars and the medicine and the healers. And if you think about that, it reminds you of the porch and how Judy's love for the porch, and clearly how healers and medicine were such a big part of her life, because she beat so many different things and kept healing herself. On Judy's desk, she has posted, I'm going to probably butcher this, Mani Padam which is a mantra calling for Kuan Yin. And I kept hearing about Kuan Yin, and it was the Wi-Fi password at one point. And I just assumed that Kuan Yin was some Schattenfield child whose name I had either forgotten or some foster kid that I didn't know about. But I did learn that Kuan Yin was the spirit of compassion. Judy taught me. It's a human being that has made a vow to dedicate all their lifetimes to the enlightenment of all humankind, which Kelly alluded to as well. This totally represents the Judy that I know. The loving, kind, caring, compassionate, worldly, with a love for Paris, intelligent, warm, mom, bubby, aunt, cousin, boss, and friend. I think Judy's spirit will continue, and all she embodied will continue to follow all of us wherever we go. Just the other day, I was at a French bakery picking up croissants, and next to the register, I think I would grab it, was this. Hang on.
Ooh, props. I have props.
Mind you, I was at a French bakery that only sold stuff that was like French, all French things. Eclairs, Napoleons, macarons, croissants, and next to the register was Cape Cod potato chips. So I knew that Judy was absolutely with me, and I think we will all know that Judy is following us, and that we can all try to embody the life and the spirit that she kept. So thank you. We'll miss her.
This is going to be awful.
Oh, God. Are you going to break down
I
the
did
house?
not, yes. So I didn't plan on saying anything, but I really wanted to, because it's starting. I'm Sue Mulroney. I wanted to say on this thread that everybody has, I'm really sorry, but this is awful.
I'm sorry, it is awful.
Have you ever had someone where you meet them, the first time you meet them, you say, this is an extraordinary person. I love this person, and I think they're going to have a profound effect on me. this has happened twice in my life, and I was right, and Judy was one of them. She was, I felt like she was a sister to me from minute one, and she would laugh at that, but it's not funny because like Kenna, my daughter, it was always Aunt Judy and Uncle Tommy, and from minute one it was, you are part of the family, and all the Schattenfields, I've been such a part of your crazy. It has been such a joy to be part of this family, and it was from minute one, and I think everybody kind of felt that was the power she had to make you feel like you are so welcome and so part of this, and it doesn't matter who you are or what your past is or anything like this, you are part of it, and it's from day one. So I'm with joy that I feel so blessed to have had her in our lives from minute one, from the time that I met her, which was when she came the day we moved in next door. We were only neighbors 3 years, but have been friends since then. And she rapped on the door. My dad was holding my 10-month-old baby, and she goes, "Oh, you have such a lovely daughter." And my dad, and Poppy's like laughing because actually it's my granddaughter. She goes, "Oh, but that's Judy. She wasn't gonna embarrass anybody. She was gonna take the high road, and like, you must just be a really potent man." And brave, and very brave. But she embraced my parents. They were such good friends, and like had houses on the Cape next to each other. This was someone who touched us all, and everybody has this. And I wish I have like so many weddings. I have so many times when I was going to have just a very sad and lonely holiday, and Judy's like, "You have to come over," and I had like a wonderful time with the Schattenfield clan. And you know, these are memories that we share, and everybody has. And I just wanted to, even though it's Maudlin, and I'm sorry, I miss her so much. And she's one of those people that you didn't have to talk to all the time, but the minute you did, it was like time had stopped in between, and then you're just starting up again, and it's absolutely fine. Cherish this as something that happens, if you're lucky, at least once in a lifetime, but you had it. And I think we're all very blessed for that. So, Judy, we love you. And now you're on Planet Tom. Good luck with that.
Oh, hooray! Oh, God! Oh, you sweet
Hi.
man.
For those of you that don't know me, my name's Greg. Kelly is my sister. I'm part of the Bechtel clan. Oh.
I'm your sister, too.
Yeah. Kim is my sister. Amy is my sister. Obviously, you guys were all cousins to us, and Aunt Judy, Uncle Tom. People ask about Aunt Judy and Uncle Tom. They say, "Were you related? Are you kissing cousins?" No. It was my aunt and my uncle, and they're my cousins. That's how we knew it. It was always great. It was so exciting when they say, "You're going to Aunt Judy's and we're going to Uncle Tom's," like my sister said. Greatest time, because the kids were all just old enough that they were the coolest thing in the world, right? Peter and Tommy and John, all of them, all right? So you'd all look up to them no matter what they did. So we were all excited to do that. And then you have Aunt Judy, who's just the hostess with the mostest. When you're going over there, you can get whatever you want to eat, whatever you want to drink. And Uncle Tom, he called me Georgery, and he liked me, so that was always good. I want to add on to when it mattered. I mean, it's a silly story, but when it mattered in crisis, my sister said she was there and she would be there for me. She was there for me in a crisis. I needed a job during the summer. I needed to make some money because of, I was in college. And so she gave me a job, got me a job with whoever she knows at the PGA Tour event. It was great. First summer I got a 2-week job guarding the media room fantastic job. At night, didn't have to do a thing, got all the scorecards of John Daly and all that. Next year, same thing. That wasn't the crisis, by the way, me needing a job. Next year, she got me the same job. It was good money. I think I was guarding, I don't know, some pavilion or something. The third year, she made a mistake. I'm a third-year college student, not quite 21. The job she got me at the PGA Tour event was guarding the bar. Needless to say, by the end of the day, I was trying to find her to help me get home. She said, "Thank you. You came to the right person. Aunt Judy will always help you." So we get in the car. We leave my car there, of course. We get in the car and we're on the way home. And she's like, "Okay, so here's the plan." So what? She said, "When we get home, I will distract your mother. I will talk to her, tell her you've been sick. You need to go directly up the steps, go to the bathroom and take care of that first, and then go to bed and don't come out of the room ever again." So we had the plan and we get there and it worked perfectly. Next day, I don't remember most of it, by the way. But the next day, I talked to her and she goes, "Now don't worry, Aunt Judy's never going to say a word. Your mother will never know that you were not sick." And she still doesn't know. Well, she knows now. But she said she didn't. She would never tell. But anyway, so that was my crisis. Was that I was a 20-year-old, completely trashed, trying to avoid my mother. I mean, it's a small crisis. It's not a real crisis. But I just thought it was just adds to the aura of Aunt Judy and who she was. She was always there for me growing up. So anyway, love you guys. It was good. It's good seeing you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you. We're going to play one last song and then mingle. So thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you. Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, we're gonna go on until everybody goes to bed.
That sounds perfect.
Get another of her favorites by Paul McCartney and the Beatles.
Do you understand?
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid. You will need to go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, then you'll begin to make it better. And anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, refrain. Don't carry the world upon your shoulders. Now you know that it's a fool who plays it cool by making this world a little colder. Na 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 na. Hey Jude, don't let me down. You have found her, now go and get her. Remember to let her into your heart, then you can start to make it better. So let it out and let it in. Hey Jude, begin. You're waiting for someone to perform with. And don't you know that it's just you? Hey Jude, you'll do the movement you need is on your shoulders. Na 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 na. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart, then you can start to make it better, 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 better. Wow!
Thank you for coming, everybody. Now we face.
Okay, good, good, it was perfect.
Is anyone else here tired?
Yeah, that was good. Let's swan first.
I just want to be there for you guys. All of us. Oh, sorry.